Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions Retold. Episode 10. Ends Beginning. Act 2. Tōka took Yuuta to No-No's that same night to talk to him. No-No's is the restaurant where Tōka works. They were sitting at a table with a small cheesecake. Tōka took a forkful and ate a piece. "This tastes way off again," she said. "Likely, one of the employees made a mistake with the cheesecake." And Tōka passed it to Yuuta. "Couldn't we've just talked at your place?" asked Yuuta. "No, because I didn't want Rikka to overhear," replied Tōka. She then showed Yuuta a letter. "It's from our main restaurant in Italy," said Tōka. "They want me to study directly under them. I have no reason to refuse." "You really are an amazing chef, aren't you?" said Yuuta. "You're saying you doubted me?" asked Tōka. "Of course not," smiled Yuuta. "Whatever," sighed Tōka. "But that's great news, isn't it?" asked Yuuta. "I'm sure Rikka will—" "Oh. You get it right?" asked Tōka. "There's no way she can live in her apartment all by herself at such a young age. So in order for me to leave, Mama will be living with her." Yuuta was surprised. "So your mom is going to—" "What do you think?" "What do you mean? Do you think it'll work out?" Yuuta thought for a moment. And then he said, "Well, I don't think it's that Rikka hates your mother or anything, so she—" "Mama has—" interrupted Tōka. "Mama has tried talking to Rikka many, many times. She's apologized for the last 3 years for not telling Rikka about Papa, but she wouldn't listen." Yuuta felt very saddened indeed. Tōka bowed to Yuuta over the table. "What's wrong, Tōka?" he asked. "I beg of you, please do something," she replied. "You're the only one Rikka listens to. If you tell her to act like a normal girl—" Yuuta gasped. "That is what I'm worried about." Yuuta then had a stern look. "Rikka is a normal girl. She wears that eye patch as armor, a defense mechanism. Rikka understands more than you think, but she acts that way because of something she can't escape. Some feeling she can't bring herself to face. Her persona is the only thing protecting her from it." "From what?" asked Tōka. "I'm not sure," replied Yuuta. "But I think she needs that part of her to deal with it. If she listens to what you or your mother is saying, if she accepts it, she'll have to come to terms. That's not what she wants." "What's wrong with her facing that?" asked Tōka. "There are no invisible boundary lines and no Eye of the Wicked Lord. No matter how hard she looks, she won't see Papa again." "I know," replied Yuuta. "How will it solve anything to let her remain in denial?" "She will never get what she's after," said Tōka. "I know, but letting her continue to believe that is irresponsible." Tōka and Yuuta felt very sad indeed. The next day, the Ginkgo festival was finally ready. There was hustle and bustle. Nibutani, Kumin, and Ishiki were watching a cheerleader cheese potato photo op doing its thing. "They sure are popular, aren't they?" said Kumin. Nibutani was jealous. "They may look nice, but behind the scenes they're a gooey mess of catty drama. I just couldn't put up with it anymore." "Ah, that's why they're stiff on the outside and gooey on the inside, like a cheese potato," said Ishiki. "Don't get all philosophical!" shouted Nibutani. "Where are Yuuta and Rikka?" "They went to change clothes," replied Kumin. Nibutani was getting anxious. "Hurry up already! I want to sweep everyone off their feet with the magic of our flawless performance!" Well, 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 if it isn't Mori Summer," asked someone. "Don't call me Mori!" Nibutani then gasped. "Sato and Suzuki!" They were students from Eco Private High. "Yo, it's been a while," said Sato. "How old does that make you now? 1004? asked Suzuki. "Still talking to spirits?" asked Sato. She and Suzuki's words made Nibutani very furious indeed. "Wanna play dirty?" she shouted. And Nibutani began to roast the two girls. "Sato, you made your lips purple and pretended to have an incurable disease, right?" Sato gasped, red in the face. "Sato, did you really do that?" asked Suzuki. "What about you, Suzuki? Didn't you claim you saw a magical fairy?" asked Nibatani. Suzuki gasped, red in the face, too. "Did you really do that?" asked Sato. The three girls were grumbling and fighting. "Man, you just never know what's gonna come back and haunt you, do you?" said Ishiki. "It's like a middle school showdown." Then he heard dragging coming from his right. It was Dekamori, with very big and very heavy-weighted bags at the end of her pigtails. She was struggling to pull them as she walked. "Yesterday's matter is still not resolved," smiled Deko. "Today I have increased the hammer's power 4 times." Clang! Deko's bags were so heavy, they fell partially in the sidewalk vents. Kumin and Ishiki could see the situation, so they came to the rescue. At Rikka's club, Yuuta was suiting up for the performance, but he was worried as Tōka's words echoed in his head. How will it solve anything to let her remain in denial? She will never get what she's after. Letting her continue to believe that is irresponsible. Just then, Rikka showed up in her costume and gasped. "Yuuta, you're so cool!" "Don't look at me like that," he complained. Technique. Be enveloped in the flames of darkness and disappear. "Can you show me, Yuuta?" asked Rikka. "I refuse." "But you're gonna do it anyway, right?" "Well, you've got me there, don't you?" And Yuuta said with zero enthusiasm, "Be enveloped in the flames of darkness and disappear." But Rikka was not impressed. "That had no power at all." "It doesn't have any power in the first place." "Try again. This time, get some leg perches, drop your hips, and whoosh! Flap the edges of your coat." Yeah. So Yuuta gave it his all. "Be enveloped in the flames of darkness and disappear!" That was when Rikka took a picture. Yuuta felt embarrassed. Then, they took a picture together, posing. Rikka was amazed at the result. "The mission will soon commence, okay? We should move into position." But Yuuta wasn't in the mood for her shenanigans. "Yeah, I'm not really sure about this, though." Rikka was starting to leave when Tōka's words echoed in his head again. "Rikka? What is it?" Yuuta was about to say something, but he stopped himself. Rikka went up to him and showed Yuuta her pinky. He showed his too, and they touched pinkies for a moment. Then, Rikka left the club room. Yuuta felt slightly happy about the pinky moment. Shortly after, Yuuta was leaving the club room when a lady showed up. "Excuse me," she said. "Yes," replied Yuuta. "Would Rikka Takanashi happen to be here? Do you know Rikka?" Yuuta gasped. It was Mother Takanashi. "No, she's not here right now," smiled a nervous Yuuta. "Is that so?" asked Mother Takanashi. "In that case, here." She gave Yuuta a pink lunchbox with a red ribbon on top. "It's all right. I'll just go home for now." My daughter. Sure enough, she still doesn't want to see me. Yuuta was waiting at the ginkgo tree feeling very down indeed. He remembered about Rikka's past, her relationship with her grandparents, the fact her house is gone, her father is deceased, the list goes on. And he asked himself, is it irresponsible after all? Maybe so. Just then, Rikka, Nibatani, and Kumin showed up. "Yuuta," said Rikka. "What are you doing, spacing out over here?" asked Nibatani. "I think it's about to begin," smiled Kumin. "There are a ton of people here," said Nibatani. Yuta's look was serious and down. It was time to restore Rikka once and for all. "Rikka," asked Yuuta, "your eye patch. Take it off." "What?" asked a worried Rikka. "Just give it to me, please," replied Yuuta. Rikka finally noticed the lunchbox Yuuta was holding. "No!" exclaimed Rikka. Nibatani and Kumin were getting worried, and Yuuta was getting angry. "Give me that damn eye patch! Traitor!" shouted Rikka. Deep inside her soul, hate began to pump from her chest. Yuuta, Nibutani, and Kumin were scared. "What's going on?" asked Kumin and Nibutani. "Oh god, no," thought Yuuta.
We should have defeated the priestess while we had the chance. Or you should have let Darth Vader choke me. Or you should have let me take the fall. It would have been less painful than this,"
said Rikka. Yuuta then had an idea. "Rikka," he said. Yuuta showed her his pinky. Rikka calmed down slightly. She touched Yuta's pinky with hers, and the hate was cleansed. "The eye of the Wicked Lord is the strongest," said Rikka. "I'm so sorry, Rikka," said Yuuta. "Aww," went Kumin and Nibutani. "It's not personal. It's just business." "Your family's business," thought Yuuta. And with that, Yuuta punched Rikka in the noggin, knocking her unconscious. Kumin and Nibutani were very shocked. "Yuuta! What the hell?" they exclaimed. "I'm not sure what came over me, but it had to be done," replied a sad, stern Yuuta. "She's your girlfriend!" exclaimed Nibutani. "Fighting never solved anything," added Kumin. Yuuta then took Rikka's eye patch, opened her eye, and took out her golden contact. "I get it now," said Nibutani. "It's about getting rid of her Chunibyo. Did punching her do that?" "Why would you do that, Togashi? I liked her just the way she is," said Kumin. "Because Tōka and her family want her to be normal, and Rikka only listens to me," said Yuuta. "That's mostly not true. Rikka also listens to Kumin and that middle school brat, too," corrected Nibutani. "Is Rikka okay?" asked Kumin. "I'll check," replied Yuuta. He then listened for her heartbeat. "Her heart's still beating," said Yuuta. Kumin and Nibutani were slightly relieved. "Can you two keep this whole scene a secret?" But Kumin and Nibutani said no. So Yuuta promised that he would never say Mori-summer ever again, and that he would join one of Kumin's napping sessions sometime. Kumin and Nibutani could now keep that scene a secret. Yuuta, Nibutani, and Kumin then took Rikka's body to the nurse's office for her to recover. They were all sad that the performance of the Eye of the Wicked Lord versus the Dark Flame Master was cancelled due to Rikka's injuries. To them, it was unclear if Rikka lost her Chunibyo or not. She still has it, but the three students didn't know. The sun was starting to set, and Rikka was alone and still in a hospital bed, unconscious. It was up to me to erase her Chunibyo persona for good. I materialized beside Rikka and said to her, "Rikka, it was nice knowing you. Farewell, Wicked Eye." I tried not to cry and removed her Chunibyo persona from her character. Then, I vanished without a trace. Not long after that, Rikka finally regained consciousness. She felt and looked completely different. She had less enthusiasm, and her eyes were partially soulless. This is what her family wanted, right? "What happened?" asked Rikka. She then noticed the lunchbox Yuuta left. It was still warm and heavy. It was like it was full of something. It wasn't love. It was reality. Rikka took a bite from her lunchbox. It tastes good," said Rikka. She then noticed a note inside the lunchbox. It read, "I'm sorry, Rikka. I still love you. Mama." Rikka smiled. "It's okay. I love you too, Mama." That night, an annual short performance contest was underway. A crowd of students cheered as the show was ongoing. Yuuta was alone, feeling down. Nibutani showed up near him, also feeling down. "Is your performance over already?" asked Yuuta. "Yep, the middle school brat and I pulled it off somehow," replied Nibutani. "Her punches were a little realistic, though." Nibutani and Dekamori improvised and battled each other on stage earlier. "I'm so sorry I punched her," said Yuuta. Nibutani chuckled. "It sure was a surprise. I didn't expect you to say or do something like that. Nor did I expect Rikka to turn dark." Neither did I, replied Yuuta. On stage, Ishiki was there holding a microphone. Number 2 from Class 1-4, Makoto Ishiki. Here I go! He took a deep breath and said, Kumin Sayuri, my love! There was feedback. Please be my girlfriend! Kumin was napping, and she sleep replied, No thank you. Ouch. Yuuta and Nibutani were still talking to each other. I hope Rikka's okay, said Yuuta. Yes, me too, replied Nibutani. I'll go check on her, said Yuuta, about to leave. Yuuta, wait, said Nibutani, and he did. What you tried to do was for the best. Thank you, replied Yuuta. I'm sure we'll find another way to make her normal. Just then, the announcer called Rikka to the stage. Yuuta gasped. I'll be singing, said Rikka, and she began. She was a last-minute contestant wearing a spare eye patch. But Yuuta didn't know this yet. What is she doing? He asked. Yuuta ran over to the crowd to get a closer look at Rikka. Yuuta was in awe. Papa, said Tōka. She was part of the audience. This was Papa's favorite song. I'm very disappointed in you, Yuuta. Why? You failed to make her a normal girl. But I have Rikka's eye patch and contact right here, said Yuuta. Tōka was confused. Wait, if you have Rikka's eye patch and contact, how is she wearing her eye patch right now? Yuuta then felt terrible and thought he failed Tōka's request. I'm so sorry, Tōka. I promise I'll make her normal someday. Tōka wanted to punish Yuuta by smacking him with her ladle, but she was more interested in Rikka's singing. So Yuuta and Tōka watched as Rikka sang from her heart. After she finished singing her father's song, everyone cheered but Yuuta and Tōka, who were in awe. Thank you very much, Rikka, said the announcer. Does that song hold any special significance for you? Rikka took off her eye patch. The whole audience gasped, including Yuuta and Tōka. Rikka wanted to surprise everyone about the fact that she was no longer the Eye of the Wicked Lord, given that she was no longer wearing her wicked eye. This song was my father's favorite. That's what's special, said Rikka, and the crowd went, Aww. Tōka was impressed. I don't know how you did it, but thank you for making her normal. You're welcome, I guess, replied Yuuta. While that scene was slightly wholesome, it doesn't change the fact that it was N's beginning. In terms of Rikka's character, I've got a very bad feeling about this.